And everybody just thinks the world of Adria. I'm trying to talk her into becoming a librarian, but so far, you know, we got to work on her a little more. Adria is an incredible advocate and self-advocate for disabilities and autism. And Adria is going to speak to you today about sensory processing and the issues that she has and people with ASD have regarding sensory processing. And Adria is the founder of Adria's Village, where she's got a website and is an active advocate and speaks to groups. And I think I need to get off the stage. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, and of course, we have to introduce Lucy. And it was very important to everybody that Lucy come to this today, although she's not getting a book, just saying. Anyways, thank you so much, Adria. And
yes, please. We're gonna watch a video. If you need some popcorn, go get
some. I can't wait for a coffee. Oh, hello, barista.
What do you girls want?
Skim soy latte? Taryn, soy can't be skim.
Hot chocolate, orange juice?
No, Dad, I want a coffee. Hot chocolate? Great.
So I was thinking of going to Sarah's later. Could you give me a ride?
Yeah, sure. Are you cool with taking your sister?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I have my own plan.
Carly.
Okay, I'll see you tonight, okay?
How can I help?
Okay guys, hi, I'm Adria. As Suzanne said, I hope everybody enjoyed lunch and, you know, did whatever else they needed to do during break. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about sensory processing issues and autism. That video was shot by a young lady named Carly Fleischman, who actually, I think we have some librarians here from Canada, am I right? Okay, Carly and her father, Arthur Fleischman, shot that video. They are from Toronto. And they shot the video of what it's like for Carly personally to go through a sensory overload experience. And in addition to shooting a video, they wrote a book that is available, I would assume, in many public libraries, including mine back in Bloomington, Indiana, not Bloomington, Illinois. The book is called Carly's Voice, Breaking Through Autism. And I've read the book. It talks about how Carly was diagnosed with severe autism spectrum disorder 2, and was nonverbal until she was about 10 or 10 and a half. Her parents had gone on vacation with her two siblings, Taryn, who is her fraternal twin. That is not her sister Taryn in the video, that's an actress, but she does have two siblings, Taryn and Matthew. They had taken the two other children on vacation, and for some reason her speech therapist, who has seen her from early childhood, was left with her for the week, and they had run by her dad's office to do something or something. And Carly all of a sudden starts typing on his computer, "Help, teeth hurt," which she said in the book she meant to start to type the fact that like her gums were sore or something, but she didn't know how to express it, so that's what came on the computer. And of course the speech therapist was like, "What are you kidding me? Carly, you have never communicated with me intelligibly a day in your life, and now you're putting together, somewhat of a sentence." And so she gets on the phone to Carly's parents and says, "Carly communicated with me today." And as the week wore on, it ensued into more and more extensive sentences, until when Carly's parents and siblings returned from vacation, it was about a month and a half until she would communicate for them. And I think they did a lot of ABA therapy to encourage further development of this communication. But yes, now she is, from what I understand it, attending college. She is, unless things have changed, the first young lady diagnosed with nonverbal autism to ever seek and attend college and try and obtain a college degree, which I think is absolutely fabulous. But I do actually give this lecture to college students a lot of times in my area. Lucy, are you snacky down there? And I think it is very well done because it shows what sensory overload can sometimes be like. Now you have to understand that one person's coffee shop where this was shot can be another person's Toys R Us. So it's very individualized in terms of, one environment can be heaven to one person and one environment can be not so great. So, but in your guys' handouts, I gave you Suzanne or someone on library staff has given you copies of an essay that I wrote explaining my experiences with sensory processing disorder. And I actually am diagnosed as having mild autism spectrum disorder and sensory processing issues, in addition to about 4 or 5 other diagnoses. But you guys can read that. But I teach this lecture about twice a semester to a class specifically in the IU biology department, and and I teach them neurological components of autism spectrum disorder and how the brain of a young person with autism differs from a typical college student or a typical young adult, whatever you like to say, in how they process the world. And then also, talking about my personal experience, what environments are difficult for me, and why do I like a library so much? Why am I in the Monroe County Public Library of Bloomington, Indiana almost every single day? I kid you not. I make a joke to one of my friends. Her name is Ashley, and she's a security guard with our local library. And I say, I kid you not, actually, I should just rent a couch in the teen room and just have my name on it and sleep there, for crying out loud. And if I don't show up to my library for about 3 days, if it's bad weather or something, all the reference librarians come to me and go, "Are you sick? What happened to Lou?" "Oh, she's just at the groomer. She'll be back in 2 hours. I'm gonna go read, y'all. It's all right." But anyway, so I talk about in the essay, I say to imagine that your brain functions or is controlled by this collar. She's too cute for it. I say that imagine that the brain is controlled by a screen door, and the screen door of the brain, if you will, I suppose, your brain can be, that has the screen door, can open and shut at will, and that is how you choose to ignore or acknowledge sensory stimuli related to any of the five senses, to ignore it or to pay attention to it. But to a young person with autism, we really don't have a lock on our screen door or an off button or a magic button that you push that makes it open or shut. So our brain is open, or our door, if you will, is open almost all the time. So we have sensory stimuli bombarding us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's why, if you saw the video, if you saw Carly kind of rocking and humming, that's where you get behaviors like those. And those behaviors actually have a purpose. What you doing? Those behaviors actually have a purpose in trying to focus the autistic individual's energy in an environment that is very overwhelming and very, it could be noisy, it could be bright lights, it could be busy crowds, it could be that, I don't know, let's say a young child just got diagnosed and they're at grandma's house and grandma is very lovey-dovey, and she comes up and says, "Oh my gosh, give me a hug," and the kid goes stiff as a board because they don't like tactile touch. That's common, but any number of environments could set them off. To me, personally, it is that I usually don't like tactile, meaning not anything, but things pertaining usually to touch or auditory stimuli. I actually brought some visual aids here. No, Lou, it's not a milk bone. I'm so sorry to tell you, you've been very good today, so you might get one later. If you ever have shopped at Target or Meijer or somewhere, and you go in the section with like the face wash and the Clearasil, I cannot stand I'm a really big stickler for being clean and anti-germs, and but I can't stand like the face washes with the little exfoliating beads in it. And really, for me, even since I was a young child, grooming was hard to teach. Not hygiene. I have always liked to be clean. Always liked water, actually. But I have never liked the face washes with the exfoliation beads in it. And my mom has always been one to help me with grooming just because of some other fine motor issues and cerebral palsy. So she'll be putting like Clean and Clear Astringent on me, and I'll be, oh, it's almost like playing dodgeball or something with me. Oh my Lord. And I don't really like, this is a specific brand. It's Oral-B, but it's a specific type in their toothbrush line. It's called the All-in-One. It's got really thick bristles that are really big. It tastes like, it feels like you're using a hairbrush instead of a toothbrush. I don't personally like it, but that's just me. A lot of times, I don't know why, but some pediatricians that treat a lot of children with autism say like that the Oral-B Pulsar is good because it's an electric toothbrush that does the vibration on the teeth to sweep away the plaque. Is good. But I use the Oral-B Pro Health Clinical because it just feels to me like a regular toothbrush. But again, ask another young person with autism to get up here and tell you what toothbrush they like. They can say something entirely different. So, as a young child, physical touch and dislike of physical touch or problems with physical touch is very, very common. My mom will tell me that I had to be taught to, what are you department. Luke. I had to be taught, to accept affection and love. You know, I wasn't necessarily by any stretch of the imagination a mean child or a self-centered child, but I would, even saying, I love you, mommy, I love you, daddy, I would say it, but I often had to be prompted, tell daddy good night, tell mommy good night, beyond expected age range. And even now, I'll tell you what, I have a 27-year-old sister in her 3rd year of medical school who's 2 years younger than me. And she'll come in for Thanksgiving or come in for Christmas and go to catch her flight at the airport. And still sometimes I'm told, are you gonna tell Janelle goodbye? You're not gonna see her till July. And I'll be like, I love you, Janelle, and I'll give her a hug, but it's not a very tight hug. It's just like very quick. And my dad will kind of like joke with me and be like, well, hug me like you mean it, Adria. And then I'll do it kind of a little tighter, but not a lot. Let's see. Another thing, well, with Lucy, it's interesting. I'm not really lovey-dovey with a lot of people and liking to be very close. Although I actually, and Suzanne, you can please tell me if you mind that I mentioned CIP. Oh, please. Okay. For 3.5 years, was part of a transitional services program for young adults with autism and learning disability, because I have both actually, that Suzanne's son, Daniel, is now participating in, one of which it's got 6 campuses across America and takes young adults ages 18 to 26, and got campuses all across America, one of which is in Bloomington. And Suzanne's son, Daniel, is now a part of the program as well. But I was with them as a student for 3.5 years. And as part of their program, students receive social skills instruction. And I can stand to get a hug from friends in church, during passing of the peace. But I had to almost teach myself to tolerate it and do it and withstand it because it is socially expected. Or even, with my sister and with my mom and dad, it's different because, they're my family. So I'm a little better with it. But even like looking people in the eye, I give speeches all the time to university students, to businesses, to, any number of people. And right now it probably doesn't look like I have a lot of problems with eye contact, but what a lot of people don't realize is that I was trained 3.5 years of private instruction, multiple sessions a week that were very intensive. And so I tell people that having autism a lot of times is like learning to be a very, very good actor and play a role. Honest to goodness. I now am a columnist for my local paper, and I love my job very much. And I write about disability pertinent issues, a lot of which is autism in my community, because I truly do want to give children who will come next in line a better city and a better future. I tell myself when I got my job, when I got asked to come meet the editor-in-chief and have lunch with him to talk about potentially getting a job on the paper, Adria, if you say your lines, if you shake his hand, if you play the part, you get the job because you are qualified for it and because he likes you. He has wanted to, sit down with you for the last 3 years, and this is your chance. Take it, play the part, and get the job. And so I did. But also another thing, as far as sensory stuff, I'm sorry, I kind of got a little bit off topic, was a lot of kids with autism, even with food, it can play a role. Like, I know a young boy in town, I know several young children who only eat certain things because they don't like different textures, they may not like certain flavors. Like breakfast, might be something very bland, like plain toast, Cheerios, and orange juice. But for me, it can also go the other way, where they put spice all over everything. I once told my mom that, I told my mom that I have a rule kind of that unless they have a bottle of hot sauce in the fridge, that I have to have a bottle of hot sauce before I come home. And I love my parents dearly, I really do. But I just really have to have hot sauce on pretty much everything. And like my sister, she teases me, she's like, do you have to have salsa on your eggs? And I say, one of her friends is actually some sort of engineer in Dallas. And I said, dear, if you go see her in Dallas and she takes you into a little cafe, I guarantee you there will be 10 people eating salsa on their eggs. So there are certain environments that are hard for me, and then certain environments that are easier. One of which, my favorite environments, knock on wood, is a library. And a lot of university students that I talk to, they think of a library as a place to just do their homework or like just study for a test. But to me, after living in a small city and, crossing intersections with horns blowing and with dogs barking on a leash or with with babies crying in strollers and with crosswalk signals going or whatever it may be, and then you come into this little haven where it's expected that you be quiet, at least somewhat. It's like, oh, I think I'm gonna like it here. Yeah, so I really like it. And plus you can kind of just be by yourself and get things done, and unless someone really needs something from you, they don't really ask you a lot. Which is, I'm not trying to be antisocial, but it's kind of nice. I've always been a fan of academics and literature, and I can just sit there and, read my Time magazine or do my next column for the paper and send it into my editor, and all of a sudden I'll look and, oh my gosh, it's 4 o'clock, let's go. So I don't know, and I have certain places in Bloomington where I like to go. My favorite, I'll tell you what, is the library, but I tend to do my grocery shopping in the morning when nobody's there, or when on the weekends. Usually in the morning, because I know peak hours when people will be certain places, and I'll tend to avoid them. Unless I absolutely have to, I will not go to Target at 2 p.m. after church on a Sunday. You just don't. Unless you're desperate for trash bags, or unless Ben & Jerry's is on sale and you have to have it. So, I don't know, we have a Starbucks coffee shop, and I love coffee, I really do. If I don't have my coffee in the morning, it's not good. But there's a Starbucks by IU, Indiana University, right across from the entrance, that's really small and really compact, and blenders are going, they're screaming out orders. There might be a screaming baby in the corner. But I've privately nicknamed it the broom closet, because it's so compact. People are like this, and kids are trying to type out papers, and I don't know how they do it, to type out a term paper while, I don't know, they don't play Metallica, but while they're blaring Taylor Swift till the speakers are boom, boom, and I'm like, hello? The bar is next door. This is a coffee shop. Oh, 1 minute left. Okay, I'm obviously not good at math. I can read though, so. But does anybody have any questions before I go sit down? Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for having me and for coming today, and I hope you enjoy your time here.